Is this a drill or something?
Is Ahsoka Tano going to appear as a wolf in Star Wars Rebels Season 4? The trailer for the upcoming season of Star Wars Rebels may contain more information about the Force than the upcoming saga film itself. If you keep your eyes peeled, there's quite a lot to observe as the reel goes on, but one shot stood out above several, an all too familiar theme in the Star Wars animated universe that may tie into Ahsoka Tano's fate after the end of Season 3. Twice in the trailer, fans are given a sneak peek at a gigantic wolf creature that seems to assist our heroes in battle. Its origins remain something of a mystery, but keen-eyed Star Wars fans may already know what it is. The wolf that we see in the trailer here with Ezra and Sabine, and then again with Kanan later on, is probably what's known as a Loth wolf. Ezra has mentioned them multiple times in various media during Path of the Jedi.
Loth rat, Loth cat, Loth wolf run. Pick a path and all is done.
Within the Servants of the Empire stories and in the middle grade novel Ezra's Duel with Danger, and they've shown up visually. From the scratch markings of this primitive art found in the walls of the Lothal Jedi Temple, certain prominent features and markings seem to match the wolf that has evidently befriended the Ghost crew. Look, the easiest assumption here is that Ezra and Kanan, both strong in the Force, have befriended this Loth wolf and possibly more, but what if it's more than that? What if this wolf is someone we know and holds a much greater significance? Bear with me here, because theories have been flying rampant even in the face of Dave Filoni's own rejection of them. Despite this, Filoni has made his love for wolves no secret to the Star Wars community. The Republic's 104th Battalion was known as the Wolf Pack and bore wolf-like markings on their helmets. And whenever Filoni isn't wearing a Star Wars shirt in an event or in an interview, chances are he'll be wearing some kind of t-shirt with a wolf on it. Obviously, we know what his favorite animal is, and he's even admitted in previous interviews that he'd been trying to work wolves into Star Wars for quite a while. Now, consider Filoni's other favorite, Ahsoka. His work on her character has stretched for over a decade, and he doesn't seem to take that lightly. Ahsoka's prominent role in seasons 2 and 3 of Star Wars Rebels brought back a character that fans had begged to see again for years. Then, at the end of season 3, she was allegedly gone once again. Here's where things get interesting. At Star Wars Celebration, Filoni wore a t-shirt that at first said Ahsoka Lives with a question mark underneath. After the trailer's debut, Filoni evidently pulled a small costume change and wore a shirt with the same words, but an exclamation mark. One might argue that he was doing that so YouTube channels like this one would make endless videos about it, but setting that aside, it caused fans to wonder whether Ahsoka herself was in the trailer and they simply missed, so was she? Let's rewind to the end of Season 3 again. A pack of top Star Wars cards illustrated by Dave Filoni began circulating and went out in order. They allegedly told the physical and metaphorical story of what happened to Ahsoka. Some fans read this as her ascent towards the afterlife, but Filoni instead called it her journey to the underworld. Remember, the temple on Malachor was shrouded in darkness. Ahsoka seemed to travel down into the temple before being led up by the Convery, a recurring creature in the Star Wars animated show that is often tied to Ashla, or the daughter who once represented the light side of the Force. From there, she walks into what looks like a cave opening surrounded by drawings of wolves. Wolves tend to take on two roles in fiction: vicious killers or loyal and fierce predators, protectors. In Game of Thrones, Ned Stark grants his children permission to raise direwolves. These pups eventually grow up to stand as protectors to their masters, often at the cost of their own lives. In The Jungle Book, Akela, Raksha, and other wolves of their pack take Mowgli in as one of their own and struggle to let him go despite quarrels amongst themselves. And in Roman mythology, the she-wolf famously took in Romulus and Remus after a vicious king cast them into the wild to die. The story of the she-wolf and the images that depict her caring for the children harken back just a bit to the wolf assisting Ezra and Sabine in the trailer, but that could also have been one heck of a stretch and some mispronunciation on my part. So perhaps Ahsoka does live, but in a manner that we've never consciously seen before. The Force works in mysterious ways, and while Ahsoka's physical being could have ended on Malachor, she could possibly still manifest within the Force. And okay, hear me out. The Convery has been an ongoing representation of the light side of the Force ever since we met Ashla back in the Clone Wars. Some people have theorized that these space owls represent Ashla or the light side itself, watching over heroes like Ezra when we see them on screen in Rebels. So perhaps something similar happened to Ahsoka, whose unique connections to Ashla have only very lightly been explored since the daughter sacrificed herself so that a much younger Ahsoka could live. Maybe they're bound together, or maybe Ashla is leading her through the underworld as it was too early and giving her another chance at life again. Another slightly more rational connection could be that Ahsoka found her way to the Lothal Temple after a trip into the underworld. The wolf markings outside of the cave-like area that she seems to be entering resembles some found within the Lothal Temple. With this in mind, Ahsoka could have used the Force to befriend or control the Loth wolves ahead of the Battle of Lothal. Season 4 seems heavily focused on what's going on in the sky, on the ground, and inside of the temple on Lothal, so perhaps Ahsoka's journey back from the underworld somehow led her to that temple, especially because of what Kanan says here.
We were meant to be Jedi so we could be here now, when Lothal needs us most.
Either way, it's looking pretty likely that we're going to see the former Padawan turned rebel in some form or fashion in the upcoming season. Her involvement remains a mystery, but until then, I've got a trailer to watch and pick apart 20,000 more times. Now, if you do like this video and the theory, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It helps out the channel immensely because the beauty of this video, it is just the start of the discussion. Our love for Star Wars surrounds and it binds us together. So let me know in the comments below, how do you think she's coming back as a wolf, if at all? Because if you love Star Wars, I want to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that, my friends. If you want to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars videos on origins, games, and theories, don't forget to use those Force powers of yours and hit subscribe. And hey, leave a comment below about what you want to see in future videos. It may just get covered. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Always.